Hello everyone, so this is going to be another Q&A, and sorry I didn't do this video yesterday. Let's just say yesterday was April Fool's Day, and let's just say I did not want to take any chances of some of you guys thinking I was actually doing a joke or something like that for April Fool's Day. And also my internet was just being really terrible yesterday, but it's much better today, and hopefully it stays that way. But if this video doesn't get uploaded in time, then you'll know exactly why. Now, I'm going to start by saying I really do appreciate all of you guys' responses and answers to these Q&As. It's been really fun overall, and a lot of them have been really interesting, and a couple of times I would expect some of them to be predictable, and at the same time it feels like it's in the middle sometimes. Like, for example, I might actually run across one and, I think in my head, that's kind of a predictable answer. It's one that, I would expect, but at the same time, why didn't I think of that? So because of that, it's always just really interesting to actually, read them, and it's really fun overall. And I really do just appreciate it overall. And I definitely plan to do these videos for a very long time. And I'm going to try to do as long as I possibly can. And to give you guys an example as to how many ideas I've actually have written down for these Q&As, let's just say I'm almost done with a full page, and I'm probably going to have to start on page 2 pretty soon. And for every few ideas or, few videos that I do, it seems like I write like at least 5 ideas. So I'm coming up with more ideas than how many videos I'm actually doing. So because of that, I should definitely be able to do these forever at this rate, especially with, how there's so many different types of questions that you can ask, and you can ask ones in very specific areas, and you can always go back and revisit the same questions but ask them in a different way. But hopefully we could do these forever, but if not, then I guess we'll find out. Now, last week I asked you guys, what would you love to see a crossover with? And one of you guys answered Code Geass and Death Note. Now, that one really stood out to me just because I feel like that one would be like a whole Madara thing all over again, having like 2 different types of powers, which in his case, he might have more than 2 actually, but on something like this, I feel like Code Geass and Death Note, it would just be so deadly and possibly overpowered, honestly, because I feel like you would have so much control over Death and be able to manipulate it and use it in many other various ways. And, when it comes to actually combining 2 powers or anything like that, the other thing I actually realized is that doesn't that mean that the person has the same weaknesses from both? So even though you're 2 times more powerful, you have 2 times more weaknesses. So I would love to see how things would actually turn out, but at the same time I feel like it would be massacre or overkill, just because it would be like a whole Madara thing all over again. It would be definitely overpowered, to be honest. But it would still be kind of cool to actually see, and that's the other thing that we actually need to see. When they do crossovers or any sort of combinations of things, they need to consider the weaknesses. Even if they're very small weaknesses, they need to actually include those, so then that way, they're 2 times more likely to actually get killed, which you would think Madara would have 2 times more weaknesses, but I'm just saying that's something that I would definitely love to actually see more often when they do crossovers or combinations or anything like that. Now, one of you guys answered Attack on Titan and Gundam Seed. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie, I probably just giggled a little bit, but also got a little bit excited because the thoughts of that sounds like something that would be so just awesome action and fighting style and everything. And it would just be so fun to actually see it. And that is something that, I think that was the one that actually I would think it would be somehow predictable, but at the same time, why didn't I even think of that? And I probably thought of something maybe similar, but that's definitely one that I would really love to see. It would be really awesome. Just the action and just, just to see them fighting and just seeing how things would turn out would be really fun. And it'd just be awesome to just watch it, I wouldn't care too much about the story, to be honest, compared to most things, but on that in particular, I would just love to see how things would turn out. That would be so fun overall. Now, my response to last week's question is actually going to be a little bit different, because I asked you guys to answer in possibly 2 different ways. Is to answer through a crossover with an anime and another anime, and possibly a video game with an anime. And my response is Metal Gear Solid and Ghost in the Shell. The thought of that makes me feel like they would merge in a very seamless way overall. Like, things would not change too much, and it would just be really cool to see how things would turn out, because I think the story would just get a lot more interesting, and just how things would actually happen would be just much more cool to watch, and it wouldn't change the theme too much. I don't think it would change the story too much, other than, small things, various small things. But for the most part, it would be really seamless to see, and it would, just merge much more seamlessly without too many conflicts or changing anything, big, or just having to just, worry about certain things just not working together and having to change too much, because lots of times you end up having to possibly, take away something really big that's a part of a character, or something to do with that story or something like that. And I feel like in this way, you wouldn't experience as many changes, and it would just be really cool to actually see that in the future. That would be a really cool. I don't know if I would want to see it as an anime or a video game, though. I don't know. I mean, tell me guys what you think. Would you guys actually like to see it as an anime or a video game, or possibly both? I really don't know, but it would be still really fun to actually see how that would turn out. But anyways, so this week's question is going to be, what kind of animes are you guys into? I know this is a simple question, but I would actually like to, get a good idea as to what kind of animes you guys watch, or maybe like a percentage ratio. Like, out of 100%, I like to see 40 to 65% action focused, and I care about, let's just say story-driven animes, and I like that to cover the other 35% or something along those lines, or maybe just top 5, like what is your most favorite type of anime to watch overall? Do you love, action-oriented animes? Do you care more about the story-focused ones? Or maybe something with a little bit of, comedy elements in it? Or possibly, well, there is suspenseful and mysterious types of animes, even though they're kind of more rare nowadays. But the one, I can't really think of a word for it. If you guys can actually put this in the comment section, I would really appreciate it, and just to know what word this would be. But something like Rosario Vampire. Rosario Vampire is one of those shows that if you haven't seen it before, just look it up on Google Images. Try not to watch it. You might get sucked into it. But it's definitely one of those animes that I'm sure a lot of people have watched, that's for sure. I'm sure a lot of us have watched it, or at least animes that are similar to that, but I just can't think of the word for it. But I mean, I would love to hear you guys' responses, and, you can answer in whichever way you want. I would just love to get a good idea as to, at least one idea of what kind of anime do you love watching overall. So let me guys know what you think in the comments section below. Anyways guys, I really do appreciate it, and today's gonna be a beautiful day. It's really, really great so far, and it's much better than yesterday, so I'm really, really excited overall. And yeah, so I'm gonna stop myself from babbling on. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.